Is your life a mess? Or maybe it's not a mess. Maybe it's perfectly fine. On the surface, from the outside looking in, everything looks great. Nothing particularly bad is going on. But inside, you're actually living it. You have goals you want to achieve. You have aspirations you want to aim for, right? You don't want to be average, but you know what you need to do for them, but you just can't get yourself to do it. You wake up every day and you just feel like you're not hitting your potential and you feel like a loser, right? And it's causing torment in your mind. If that's the case, your mind is probably a mess, and you probably already know this. I'm going to use an analogy that I heard from David Goggins on one of his latest podcasts, one of the two. He spoke about your mind being like a garage, right? If you go into your garage and you're looking for a specific tool and your garage is a mess, you're never going to find that tool. Or if you do, it's going to take you a long, long time, right? But if you walk into your garage and it's perfectly clean, right? You got the shelves neatly set up, everything is in a properly like labeled place, and you walk in, you know exactly where to look for. If you don't know exactly where to look for, you know the area you're looking for, and once you go there, everything's labeled. You'll find it very easily. Everything's neat, right? Imagine your mind now, right? You're looking for a motivation. You're looking for your why. If your mind is a mess and you can't find your why, you're never gonna find it, right? If your mind is a mess and you're waking up and you're like, oh, I really need to find like the motivation to sit down and study. If your mind is a mess, you're never gonna find like, oh, what's my reason for studying? Or when you sit down to study, you're gonna have, oh, I've got this problem to think about. I've got this to think about. Everything's just out of whack, right? Versus if your mind is proper, it's clean, right? It's neatly set out like a neat garage, and it's like, oh, I know why I'm studying. Right? I know what I need to do to study. Everything's like, when you sit down, it's simple. Like, you're not having any distractions because you know exactly the reason you're sitting there to study, and you know why you're doing it. Right? That's the difference. You need to sort out your mind. Right? So there are many ways you can sort out your mind. One of the main things you need to do is stop watching content. Please, for crying out loud, just stop watching content. I was struggling with this myself. I remember it was a couple of weeks ago. I remember a journal entry I made. I was like, if I don't achieve, like, and the intro I just gave you now, that literally is me, right? Like, I feel like I'm not hitting my potential every day, and it's just making me like miserable and that sort of thing. And I wrote in my journal, I was like, if I don't become successful, it's going to be because I failed to overcome my content addiction. And when I put it out in a line like that, I was like, what the flip? If I look back 10 years from now and I don't hit my goals, I don't achieve the success I want to achieve, I'm going to know it was because I couldn't stop watching YouTube videos on my phone. I couldn't stop scrolling through shorts. And I don't know about you, but that would piss me off. Oh, that would tick me off so much, because I'm like, come on, man, I can stop watching content. It's not like it's not like going through Hell Week for like training for the Navy SEALs. It kind of is, because it's really difficult. Like, the addictions are there, but when you lay it out, it's like, dude, you can just not watch videos on your phone. You can do that. You can do it. And if you don't become successful, it's going to be because you failed to curb your content addiction, right? And that goes for anything. If you have a porn addiction, food addiction, whatever it is, just think, I want you to write out a sentence. If I'm not successful and I look back on my life with so many regrets and I'm miserable, it's going to be because of this addiction. Fill in the blank. So I need you to stop watching content. That's the number one thing you can do, right? Just stop. If you have a holiday, you have like a 3-month holiday, why don't you set a goal to be like, this whole 3 months, I'm not going to watch. I mean, I create content, so, but I don't even need to watch content. I don't watch content for entertainment purposes. I just don't, right? Just don't use your phone for stupid stuff. Obviously, we need it for like I don't know about you, when I'm doing work or whatever it is I'm doing, I need my phone. But there are certain things you shouldn't be doing. Why don't you just say, for this 3-month holiday that I'm going to have ahead of me this summer, I'm not going to watch content on my phone. I'm going to beat my addiction, right? I'd rather go outside and shoot hoops or whatever it is, or I'll just sit down and just be bored. Just don't watch my phone. Just do that for 3 months. Change your life. It doesn't even need to be 3 months, 2 weeks. Do it for 2 weeks. It'll change your life. Stop watching content. That's number one thing you can do. 2, I think I'll say this again. The 2 main things you need to do is stop watching content and meditate. Meditation, we've been over it. It helps your mind to just focus. Like, just sitting there, being with your thoughts, right? It helps you every time you're like sitting there and you're not following, you're not like being present. Like, when you're sitting in meditation, you're like, oh, straight again with my thoughts. It's like, just snap back to it. Be like, okay, I've caught myself straying. Let me focus again, right? That's you getting better and better and better. Next time when you're studying or when you're trying to focus on some sort of work, it's like, oh, I'm straying, and then it's like, snap back into it again. That's what meditation is doing. It's a practice, right? And don't you dare tell me meditation doesn't work. If you've not done meditation for at least 5 minutes a day consistently for about 6 months, do not tell me meditation doesn't work. Do not tell yourself that. You're doing yourself an injustice because you don't know that it doesn't work. You've never done it properly. You'll never hear anyone that's done it for 6 months be like, nah, meditation doesn't work. You rarely ever hear that kind of person, right? So meditate, stop watching content. Then the other things you need to do is like, start writing out. I'm sure you've heard this if you've ever tried to watch like motivation things or how to be more productive, and it's like, oh, write out your to-do list, write this, yada yada, and you're like, I don't need to do all of that. But if you're in this situation where your mind is a mess, it's essential you do this, right? Not because, oh, if I write it on my to-do list, I'm going to feel motivated to do it. Not that. It's just getting it. I want you to imagine a phone, right? You know when you have like okay, obviously the latest phones are like iPhones don't have this. But if you had like an Android phone like 5-10 years ago, you had like something like a cache, right? You clear the cache. Like it's just like a bunch of crap that just need to be cleared out of the phone, whatever it is. That's what writing down does for you. If you're like, okay, tomorrow I need to do this specific chore, right? Now my dad asked me to go and screw this, take a screw and like tighten this or whatever it is. You know, it's not something stupid like that. Just write it down, right? Because now you've written it down, you can just forget about it. And then tomorrow when you wake up, you look up at your to-do list and you're like, oh, I need to do this today. Whereas trying to remember it, other than the fact that there's a chance you're going to forget, just trying to remember it is taking up brain space. It's filling up your cache, right? That you need to clear out. That's what writing does, right? Write all your tasks. And come on, bro, you're not going to forget stuff if you write it down, right? You're not going to forget it. But even apart from that, just save your brain space for other things. You write down something, forget about it, right? And then next time you look at your to-do list, then you'll remember it. So do things like that. Write out a routine, even like a routine. I know for me, I never really did this. People be like, oh, write out your routine and stick it up, whatever. That helps, of course. For me, I was like, I remember my routine. I just wake up, I do this, like I know what to do. I've like memorized it. Then I was thinking, I was like, there are times where I actually forget what I need to do. And then I'm spending like 5 minutes, not 5 minutes. I'm spending like even just like 30 seconds trying to remember. But that's 30 seconds. I'm just using brain power to try and remember what I'm supposed to be doing on my routine. So literally a couple weeks ago, I wrote out my routine and I just took a picture. I have on my phone. So on my phone, I have, because I work out at home, I have my workout routine. I've written it out for all 6 days. I've taken a picture. So every time when I'm working out, just open the Photos app and I just look, right? Same thing with my routine. I've taken a picture of my routine, and then every time I'm just forgetting what I need to do, I literally just go into my Photos app. I have like an album where I've got like routines, and then I've got like the pictures with my routine and my workout routine and everything. I just click on it and I look and I'm like, oh, I need to do this, right? It's simple. I'm not spending time trying to remember it, using up brain power. And the thing is, I will remember it, obviously, the more I keep looking, but I'm not using brain power. So do that, right? That'll help you so much. So those are the main things, right? If your life is a mess, it's your mind. I want you to become obsessed with mindset. I'm going to make a video where I speak about why it's important to become obsessed with mindset. You probably know what it is, but it's kind of like a motivational video just to instill like why it's important to become obsessed with mindset. But this is how you're going to turn your life around. If your life is a mess, you're in a rut, fix your mind. Clean, go in the garage and take everything out, clean it up and everything, and then set everything properly. Take some time to reorganize your mind. It's important. Make sure you hit subscribe to join the Self-Improvement Brotherhood and join the Discord to meet like-minded men. And until next time, I'll see you boys.